Serial killers are weird. This is not a real knife. And interesting. And I like interesting and weird things. So much so that only one video about them wasn't enough, okay? And that's why today I'm gonna be ranking them in another tier list, having in consideration their pasts, kill counts, and overall weirdness. Also, if you are a cool guy, you already know the tier list if you saw the other video, but if not, here's the tier. It could be worse, sickening, almost made me puke, and what the fuck. By the way, this video is supposed to have a fun mood, it's supposed to be informative and not just oppressive, okay? If you are not into funny moods and jokes, get out! Let's start. The Night Stalker. Dun dun dun. Or Richard Ramirez. A very, very popular dude. Honestly, one of the most popular ones. And to be fair, I don't really know why. I mean, is he despicable? Yes, everyone in this list is. That's why it's a serial killer list. But I mean, compared to what is yet to come, this dude, I mean, it's a walk in the park. Anyway, let's start his story. And his childhood, just as always, wasn't really the most ideal for the development of a child. Firstly, abusive father, like it always is. Secondly, a piece of furniture fell on top of him, which made him have seizures from that day onwards. Maybe that fucked him up too, who knows, probably. And thirdly, he had a cousin named Mike, a guy that was an ex-military, which honestly wouldn't be inherently bad. I mean, he could even give him some strong morals and discipline and, you know, war and do fucking push-ups. Who's gonna carry the boats and truth is, Mike was kind of fucked up, bro. He would show him pictures and videos and tell him stories about the women that he raped in Vietnam. He kinda killed his own wife in front of Richard, and also he showed him the wonderful world of drugs. It's not a great build-up, like of stuff, not at all. And that of course would have the probability of leading him into a fucked up adult life, which it did, kind of a very fucked up adult life. He started being an enjoyer of heavy drugs. He, well, started robbing people to get money for the drugs. He also thought he had to please Satan in some weird sadistic way, maybe a side effect of the drugs, who knows.
You admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another, are we not?
Well, all of this combined led him into doing his first crimes, which was killing people in the most fucking violent and despicable ways. He would murder them very violently, relentlessly. At least he didn't care about sex or age or whatever. He was no Hitler, at least that, but he was very reckless. And thankfully, he was also not that careful, which led into his early arrest. He was only able to kill 14 people. 13 people, I'm sorry. Well, he got arrested, he died of lymphoma in jail, and in my opinion, it's not the worst. I know, killing people, it's not the worst, okay? Comparing it to what is yet to come, he just did the killing, you know, he wasn't really into minors and stuff like that. He wasn't into keeping people in a sex dungeon. At least that, okay? He did indeed look kinda scary, like, look at the dude, but he is going into the it could be worse tier, because it could be worse. Leonard Lake and Charles Ng. Imagine your OG Fortnite duo, that dude that you went into the storm to revive, that dude that you shared your hard-earned wood, that dude that spent hours with you at Christmas listening to that cool song in the lobby, dancing. Imagine that dude, okay? Now imagine that you started killing people and killing their families and putting them in a bunker and then taping the fact that you would rape the wives and be a bad person and like Santa won't like you. Santa won't give you presents. Maybe I don't know. Hey, what the fuck is that duo? Have you tried leaving that duo? Have you tried not playing Fortnite? Have you tried playing Raid Shadow Legends? Okay, now, for real, these guys were weird. Weird as shit, and everything I said is, well, very sadly true. This fucking dog won't shut up, and I guess I'm gonna be committing crimes. Yes, they did kill families. They did spare the wives. They did put them in the bunker to rape them and tape it. They were really that fucked up. Firstly, we have Leonard Lake. I hope that you can't hear this fucking dog because I swear, I have a knife here. I have a knife. I have a knife. I must be half Chinese. I am sorry for the racism, but I have a small dick. And I am not afraid of using this. And YouTube, by the way, this is a playing knife, okay? I cannot cut my... it won't cut, okay? Do not fuck up my video. This is a toy. Leonard Lake was the master of the operation. And for being the master, he had to be the guy with the most fucked up childhood. You know, he had a grandmother who would incentivize him to take pictures of his naked young sisters. Yeah, he had an obsession towards a book that was basically about a guy kidnapping a woman. He always had that type of empowered vision towards women and that they should serve him in some way. Because yes, he also developed a liking on sadomasochist sex and play stuff, which led into his first divorce. But then he found a girl who liked that, just like the other dude on the other video who also had a girl that liked sadomasochist stuff. This guy had too. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is you ladies doing with your I don't want to talk anymore, okay? Let's pass into the other guy, which was Charles Ng. Charles Ng was younger than him. He was almost like trying to follow a leader. You know, interestingly enough, he didn't really have a fucked up childhood like one might think. He had a pretty normal upbringing, with the only thing weird being that he was really into robbery, like it was an obsession. He didn't need to make robberies, but he just wanted to, and that led him into being imprisoned and stuff like that. And those stealing habits led him into stealing some weapons. And since Leonard Lake was an ex-military, that's how they got to know each other. You know, he tried to rob some weapons. Leonard Lake found about him. They started talking, and they basically almost hit it off completely. Really, they were like soulmates, but that didn't want to have kisses together because they were not into that type of shit. Well, they really liked each other, and it really shows, because it must be really hard to start a conversation of how would they rape women and kill their husbands and kids and whatever, okay? How do you even start a conversation like that? It's like, yo bro, you're such a chill guy, dude. By the way, let's kill some people and build bunkers to put the people in. It must be fucking hard to start a conversation like that. And I want to emphasize again that I hope you're not hearing the damn dog, okay? I hope I'm speaking loud enough for the dog to be deafened by me. Eventually, well, they got caught, you know. It wouldn't be hard to eventually fuck them. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't know, man. They got caught. And, well, Leonard Lake decided to kill himself with a cyanide pill that he kept with him all the times for situations like that. He just didn't want to face the consequences, you know. Not comprehensible, you're a fucking pussy. And then Charles Ng was able to escape, which wasn't really for a long time, because he still had that stealing addiction, and he was arrested for stealing and was put into death row, being alive today waiting for his ultimate demise. Now, these dudes were really what the fuck. As I said, they would tape the rapings, they would kill the kids of the wives, they would kill the husbands, and they did that to I don't know how many people. I don't really remember. What do you think I am? Do you think I am Albert Einstein? I am not. I'm on top of a green screen. Okay, they killed 11 to 25 people. That's a lot of people, including kids, including raping, including taping the raping, including a lot of weird shit. So, yes, show. They are going to the... Almost made me puke here. There are some worse cases, and we will get to that. Right now, I've forgotten that this dude was right after. Well, Pedro Lopez, you know, a guy from Colombia. The monster of the Andes, to be more precise. And the monster he was, cause holy damn. He must have had a lot of free time, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he was killing like it was his full-time job. He must have had some type of monetization off of that. I'm sure of that. Because, well, it is said, and it was confirmed by him, that he killed at least 310 people. More precisely, 100 in Colombia, 110 in Ecuador, and 100 in Peru. He would just roam around South America, raping and killing kids. Yes, kids. But as bad as it seems, like this is really f***ed up, more than 300 fucking children, but as bad as it seems, he would not just kill them and rape them. No, it couldn't be just that. He would have little cutesy tea parties with the corpses. Because that's fucking normal. And let's say it all together. 3, 2, 1. What the fuck? Well, to his background, his mom was a sex worker. He was born in Colombia in 1948, which wasn't really the most desirable of places to be born in. At the age of 8, he had sex with his little sisters, and his mom kinda You go away, you fucking weirdo. He was also abducted by a man and by him. As I said, his mom, you go away. So he was homeless until an old couple found him and treated him. But then he got into school and he also got raped, which made him run again into the streets. And well, that led into him starting robbing people because he needed money, which led into him going into prison, which led into him getting gangbang raped by men in prison. I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't like to switch lives with him. It wouldn't be the wisest choice. It's a very, very fucked up upbringing, which, math, basic arithmetics. 1 plus 2 equals. He will have a hard time in his adult life. Like, did he need to kill those kids? No, I'm not making excuses. That guy's a fucking bitch. But, you should have been expecting something like that. Or not something like that, but like, I don't know, man. Okay, less than that. You should have expected something bad coming up from upbringing like that. Not that, but I don't know what I'm saying, okay? I don't even know. 300 kids. What? Well, he eventually got caught, but he managed to escape, and he kinda is still out there. He's 70 something, and most likely is still out there committing those crimes. Like, again, I'm burping. More than 300 kids. Probably well more than 300 kids. What the fuck, dear? Miyuki Ishikawa, a girl, finally. And this one is very different from what we are used to. And to understand this case, we need to go back to what was happening at the time. But I swear it won't be boring, okay? So this was World War II time, the after party of World War II, and we all know that the after party was not good in Japan because of two things. Firstly, and secondly, men were away from their houses for a very, very long time, meaning that the dudes needed to procreate. Dudes needed to bust a nut, and bust a nut they did. The birth rates rised like crazy. It's completely comprehensible. They wanted to fuck, and fuck they did. But the thing is that it's not really great to have a big birth rate in the meantime of one of the biggest economic and social crisis in the entirety of that country. Probably the biggest social economic crisis in that country ever. There were no resources for the babies. Most of the parents didn't even have the money to take care of the babies. So that's where Mrs. Ishikawa comes in, baby deliverer that, in an act of altruism and heroism, decides to kill babies. More precisely, she would keep the babies of the couples and tell them that, you're going to give me some money that in the long term won't be as big as if you were taking care of the kid, and I will take care of him. She would mistreat them and let them die of hunger, of stuff. Medical stuff, and she would get covered by her husband and another doctor, giving her false medical records, and allegedly they did that to hundreds of victims. And the thing is, the government kinda knew, they were aware of that, but since she just said that she didn't do nothing, and the words have a lot of meaning in Japan, mainly on that era, the government just, let it go. But, police officers found 5 bodies near her house, and from there on, she got imprisoned. But you wanna know something cool? She got imprisoned, but only for 8 years. And the helpers, the doctor and her husband, only 4. She only got arrested and put into jail for malpractice of medical assistance. That's it. Because of her, a law in Japan was put in to kind of control that, so that parents wouldn't have to sell their kids. Now parents with economical difficulties can do abortion because of her. Because of her, that law was created for medical deliverers to not kill babies. Now, she's going into the almost made me puke tier. I know it's a lot of murders and maybe she should go to the what the fuck tier, but I'm not going to put her there because I think that she was probably just trying to do the greater good. Was it done in a very fucked up way? Sure. But maybe she didn't do it from pure evil, okay? Maybe she was actually trying to help. Again, if that's your way to help, maybe don't help, but almost made me puke here. You understand what I'm saying. I believe in your mental capabilities. Eileen Wuornos. Okay, so this bitch... I'm sorry. Eileen is here not because she executed the worst possible crimes ever, not because she did the weirdest things. She's here only and solely because of her face. I am scared of her, okay? Look at this. Look at this. It's fucking scary. She was bound to be a serial killer. But well, she essentially just hated men. From a very young age, she started using her body to get things, and she started prostituting herself. Like at 14 years of age, she was already doing the dirty deed to get money. She got pregnant at the age of 14. Her grandmother died, and her grandfather also put the blame on her for being a mom so young, and she didn't. Man, she had a fucked up life, okay? She really had a fucked up life, and eventually, whilst on the middle of her great job of sucking dick, she killed a man, and she kept doing it to at least 7 different men, just shooting them multiple times. Again, I don't think this is the worst, okay? She just shot them, she killed them. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, she's here because of the face. It could be worse, but she is here because of the face, because look at the face of this woman. It feels like she's sucking my soul. And she really is the master of suck. Charles Manson. Now this bro will be a challenge to talk about. And it is one of the most complex ones, because is he a serial killer? Is he innocent? Or is he just very good at making weird faces? Let's dive into his past. Dude was rejected by his mom. He lived in the streets, so that led him into being in institutions. On the breaks of institutions, he would be a pimp for girls, just like you should be. He got brutally sexually assaulted there too on the institutions, He started doing some crimes, robbery and stuff, and he got put into jail. A curriculum filled with good stuff until now. On that jail cell, he actually learned one of his passions, which was music. Yeah, he did songs. Either way, upon leaving the jail cell and trying to get into some music producers, which he wasn't able to, he started gathering his family, the Manson family. Yeah, he had a family of people that followed him, and he was only able to do it because it was like the 60s and 70s, the age of the hippies, those kinds of people that don't want to belong in society anymore. They just want to go around the country fucking and doing drugs. And well, Manson took advantage of that and gathered a bunch of young adults to go around the country to fuck and do drugs, which seems very cool and fun. Problem is that in between, the sections of fucking and doing drugs, he would also try to persuade them and tell them that literally the end of the world was near. Something called the Helter Skelter. A super racial war that would take place in today's age that would basically have whites and blacks fighting against each other because Manson said so, because he's the leader and he knows best. Dude wasn't really normal, but it gets worse because he had a magnificent plan. He would, tell his followers to go into some houses and kill people, to put the blame into African Americans so that they would have some type of advantage when the racial war came. You must be thinking, who the hell would take that as an advice and who the hell would follow that plan? It turns out that some people did. Some people really went into houses and killed for the sake of that magnificent plan. And the most known case is when they killed, Sarah Tate, that was pregnant at the time, and another 4 people that were on that house. They killed them in very violent ways with stabs, completely fucking destroying them, writing stuff on the walls like pig and helter skelter, normal stuff. Well, on the next day, they did yet the same crime to a couple on a house nearby. Charles Manson actually helped them this time, tying them up, because he said that the first crime was too disorganized, so he had to help, but he didn't kill anyone. They eventually all got caught. Those weren't the best crimes ever made. Manson, of course, also got arrested, but the thing is, he believes and he says that he didn't do nothing. He didn't kill anyone. If he wanted to kill, he would kill each and every one of us because he's very bad and he likes to make weird faces to make me scared.
Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
At most, society is the one to put the fault on. It's the one that changed Manson. The fault is on society, of course. Well, he got arrested. He was put into prison for life. He died at the age of 83 in 2017, and, concluding, dude was very charismatic. He had to be very good with words, like he made people believe that the world would end and that there was going to be a war between two different colored people, and for the Manson family to be okay, they would need to kill other people to put. Dude was crazy, but honestly, I don't know how to classify him because he actually didn't kill anybody. Is he a serial killer? Is he completely mad? I don't know, and that's why I'm going to put him into the newly added tier, which is I don't know. Is it sickening? Sure. Is it weird? Hell yeah. But maybe he's just a chill guy who likes to tell people what to do. Joachim Kroll. You know Germany. You know that Germany sometimes does weird stuff. Okay, this has nothing to do with what I do. What about Joachim Kroll? Well, I'm a speedrun it. Fuck it. Fuck the past. You know. Like to see animals get killed in the farm. Oh no. Started having sexual experience with the... Started having sexual experiences with the animals in the farm. What? And well, after his mom died, he started killing people. Pretty normal stuff in the past life of a serial killer, to be fair. The only thing that differed from him is that he wasn't really that charismatic. The girls that he killed were attacked from behind and dragged into the woods and killed there and raped there. He also left the bodies behind. He wasn't really that careful, but since he did that very far away from his house and it was old times, he didn't really get caught until he decided to kill a little girl from his streets and eat her and clog the pipes of his house with her remains. It was all okay, man. It was all okay until you did this. Like, it was 14 murders, but I was going to put him in the sickening tier, okay? Sickening, it was okay, but then you decide to do that shit, and you can't do that shit. I'm glad it was only one, and it's going into the almost made me puke tier. You just can't kill kids and eat them and clog the pipes with their remains. It's not doable.
Harrison Graham.
Wah, I'm the Cookie Monster. I have mental problems, yes I do. And this guy too. That's why he's on the list. With a staggering 63 of IQ. This dude was this close to be a fucking carrot. But that didn't stop him from doing the sweet murders. Well, to be different, let's see how he got arrested. And well, bro just ran. His house was said to have stupidly horrendous smell, which led him into being evicted. Is evicted a word? Expelled from his apartment, and he left whatever was on the apartment behind and he just ran off. And the thing is, what was in there? Well, it was trash upon trash upon trash and trash and trash and trash and trash and the remainings of 7 dead bodies. And the thing is, it wasn't just normal, freshly killed bodies. They were not on barrels of acid. They were not, I don't know, in the freezer. No, they were just spilled across the house in between all of that trash. They were wrapped in carpets. There were bits of bodies hanging around the house. There were bodies sandwiched between mattresses in a stage of decomposition that doctors weren't even able to assign a sex to them because it was unrecognizable. Dude was living in a fucking trash dumpster with dead bodies. Well, his mom eventually talked to him after he ran and she convinced him into turning himself. Now, the thing is, what is weird here? After he turned himself, he said he didn't know why he was getting arrested. He didn't understand it. Even his mom said that he was still innocent, that he didn't get it. He didn't know why he was there because he was too dumb. It was basically that. Dude was too dumb to understand. Dude was too dumb to have a moral compass. Okay? Like, he killed the girls while having sex. He would have drugs, have sex, and then he would wake up from the trip and the girls would be dead, strangled. And what did he do? Just place them in the house. Did he even understand death? Did he know the concept of death? Maybe not. I mean, that's why I'm going to place him in the it could be worse tier. Maybe the dude just didn't have a moral compass. Was he pretending? Maybe he could be pretending, but I mean, he was sent for a psychiatric hospital because he was said to not have enough mental capabilities. Was he pretending? We don't know, but he could just be that dumb. He could just not understand nothing. He could just, be a walking fucking potato that killed people because he didn't know what killing was. Dude was really dumb as a rock, maybe. Well, could be worse here. Andrei Chikatilo. Okay, last dude here. Little boy from Ukraine, and it's time to get into some dark territory. So this dude was born in very difficult times. To be more precise, he was born in 1936 in a country that was ruled by communism. Ukraine at the time was part of the USSR and communism was every where, and as you probably know, hunger issues were everywhere. People were dying from starvation left and right, and that wasn't an exception for his family. Actually, there were some creepypastas on his family that his brother was killed and devoured because he left home after some time of the day, and that was used to keep him inside the house, because cannibalism was really a problem back in the day, because people didn't have stuff to eat. But well, taking aside the hunger issues and the starvation, his upbringing wasn't really that bad. He was very good at school and stuff. The only thing that fucked with him in a very personal level and that led him into doing the crimes was that he was impotent. He wasn't able to make it hard when doing the deed with girls. And he wasn't gay, at least I don't think he was. He just wasn't able to make it hard when fucking. And that led into deep frustration. Well, he went into college, he became a teacher, but the thing is that boner problem was still in his mind. He still had that thing in the back of his head. And being a teacher in a high school actually made it worse, because he thought to himself that it wasn't fair. Kids were having relationships, potentially sex, and he wasn't able to. It was not fair. So what was his alternative? Sexually assault his students. I mean, he wasn't able to, do the thing, but he touched them and he got expelled. And yes, he only got expelled. For some reason, the school only expelled him, didn't tell the police, just, let him go. And he went again into another school. And that's where he did his first crime. He abducted a 9-year-old to the middle of the forest. He killed her, didn't rape her because he wasn't able to, but did the thing to the corpse. And he kept doing more and more crimes, but getting more violent with each crime, stabbing them very violently and cutting their bodies and then finishing on top of them. He did that to at least 56 different women, and he got arrested, fortunately, because he decided to touch himself near a woman. Okay, he didn't get arrested there. He went into the police station, but because of scientific advances, they weren't able to track him down into the other crimes. But then they saw him again near a young boy while he was drunken, and they just arrested him and were able to make him talk. And after making him talk, they discovered that he was a complete psychopath. He didn't have any remorse. He liked it. He enjoyed it. He loved just having power over women and doing the shit that he did. It was the thing that he liked the most. Well, on court, he then started trying to appear like a crazy person to try and save himself, but the doctors concluded that he was sane and he could be sentenced like a normal person, and he was, well, sentenced to death with a shot on the back of his head, because that's how the death row went on that country on that time. And of course, this is going into the what the fuck tier. I mean, I can't accept anything. Okay, I can't accept anything, but killing kids and doing that shit to the bodies is not normal. It's not okay, and you shouldn't do it, okay? Dear viewer, don't do anything that you saw in this video. But come on, man. To kids? Jesus. Okay, we are done. We are done with the tier list, and it's completed, and these were yet again some of the worst and most despicable serial killers that I was able to find and that I wanted to talk about, because I find them interesting. Not cool, very far from cool, please don't be a serial killer, but they are interesting, their minds are interesting. Well, watch this video that YouTube is recommending right here, because you might like it, I like it, so you should like it too. And also go watch The Waves to clear your mind, because what you watched on this video was not from God. Peace.